Hi and welcome to O for Craft's Sakes. Today we're going to have so much fun. We're going to make a witch's hat and this is going to be my take on it. Now sometimes I make things and I don't duplicate them the same, which is what I love about crafting, is that you can make something, you can watch someone make something, and you can add your own flavor to it. So take a look at what's happening down here. We're going to start out today using our witch's hat. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to be taking all this embellishment off and we're going to be wrapping it with one mesh that I got from the Dollar Tree. Okay, this was great, $1, I love it. So we're gonna be using that on here. Then we're going to be making little bows. I'm gonna be taking off this right here, this little ribbon, and I'm gonna be making curly bows right here to fit here. So I'm going to be using 3 different things of mesh. These are the colors that I've chosen, and these are the ribbons that I'm going to add too. I'm sort of a ribbon freak, so I like to add multiple colors and pick up little things, like in the witch's name and her legs. I like all the orange and the stripes, which leads us to this. This I absolutely love. I cheated and got this at Michael's, but I did have a 40% off coupon, so I suggest you guys using them because it really helps you to save some money. So I'm going to attach this to our witch's hat. I also have here some pipe cleaners. I cut them in half. They were one piece. I cut them in half, and I'm going to show you how to use them on your bows, your curly bows and ribbon. And if I'm feeling super ambitious, I'm going to try to put some of these bat lights. I'm going to try to maybe weave it in our bows here if we can do that, because it'll be super fun to be able to have it on at nighttime. And it is a battery pack in here, so that's great. You don't have to plug it in. You don't have any extra wires. Then I'm not quite sure if I want to put an embellishment or something on here, because I really want this to be the focal point and the cute line of bows and ribbons right here. So I might just glue these here. I have to wait and see. We have to sort of play it by ear. Not super sure what we're gonna do 100%, but we're gonna have fun and we're gonna make something super cute. And I love that we can wing it and just use things that you have at home. You see behind me I have just a little bit of supplies, so I might grab something off the shelf and while we're making it, and wing it and see if we like it. Anyway, get your goodies, plug in your glue gun, and let's get rolling. Okay, so I cleaned off my craft table because I can't work in a cluttery place. I don't know about you, but I have to have everything neat and perfect. So moved everything else away, and let's look at our witch's hat. This is so cute and you can use it for so many things. I did get this for $1 at Dollar Tree, one of my favorite stores. The gal, Melissa, knows me by my first name now. She let me go back in the storeroom last week and see things that they hadn't put out yet. It was great. Anyway, okay, so I trimmed off the tag, and now I'm just going to take off this boo because we don't want to use this, and it comes off really easy, no big deal. Let's take this off, and some people might want to save it and use it for something else, but not me. So let's go ahead and take this off as well. So this, where having fingernails comes in super easy because I can reach up under things. I just had them cut down too because I was looking like Dolly Parton or Dragon Ladies. Anyway, anywho, let's just take this off. And this isn't glued on or anything crazy, so it is hooked on to a couple of things. Like back here you can see the little knobs. You just take that down and boom, it just comes right off. See? You might want to save this later too if you want, but not me. I like to use fresh stuff. Okay, so now I'm gonna leave this on because I like the fullness and I want it to be sort of not thin, but I like more 3D of a look. But I am going to take this off because if I don't and we add our ribbons and our curling bows, it's going to be too cumbersome and too thick and it's going to look odd. So if you've done it and it looks great, then fantastic. I'm not that great at making it look super great with all this padding on, so I just choose the areas that I want to keep it on. So now what I'm doing is, you see these little nubs that I showed you? I'm just lifting off a couple of things, and then it should come right to the front, and you can see that it's just wrapped around. Okay, so I'm going to unwrap this and get it all nice and ready, and we'll be right back. Okay, so now that we have that done and we've taken all that wrapping off, we've taken it off. You might think you've taken off too much, but you haven't. If you see this, it's just, this is how it was all wrapped around. So this is fine, and you're not going to be able to see this because you're going to have your bows and your ribbon here, and that's going to fill that up. So first thing that I'm going to do is wrap this and make the first part of our witch's hat. Now, a tool or deco mesh like this is that we get from Dollar Tree. Sometimes it's kind of squiggly at the end and kind of fraying, so I always like to start with the fresh end. And so I'm going to get my rotary blade out right here, and I just like to measure a straight line so I know that we're starting everything nice and neat. So you see, it's nice and perfect. Okay, and then I put my blade away so I don't cut myself, because God knows I can probably do that. Anyway, so get yourself all handy, and what you're going to need is a pipe cleaner. And so what I like to do is, once again, I don't want anything to unravel, and I don't want anything to fall apart once you use it, especially if I'm giving it as a gift or selling it. I want to know that it's going to last. So as I said, sometimes with a cheaper mesh, and this deco mesh is great, I do use it for a lot of crafts, but it can fray very easily. So I just like to fold an end in half, just like this. Fold it down so that we can fold the edge in. And then I'm just going to take this like this, and it's okay if it's scrunching, because that's what you're going to want. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, the half, and then I'm going to put it in half again, and then I am going to wrap it around here just a couple times. I like it to be nice and secure and tight. So you just turn it a couple of times, making sure it's nice and secure, and I just tuck that in underneath here, so it's nice and underneath. And then I'm going to flip this over to the back side, and you can see that there's rings right here. There's rings and slats, and I'm going to look under to the very first little hook here, the loop rather, and I'm going to take it, slide my pipe cleaners in it, and just twist it a couple times. And then I push it down, make sure it's in nice and tight, and then I just clip off the end, because I like things to be smooth on the back, so that when you hang it on the wall, just tuck that in a little bit, so when you hang it on the wall, it's nice and smooth, and it's not going to scratch anyone's wall, because Lord knows we don't want that to happen. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to flip this back over, and we're going to let some mesh out. I'm going to keep that little tail tucked down there. And now you can see that the bottom of the mesh is here, and it's already naturally, from the way that I folded it, just kind of folding in two, which is great. So I'm just going to wrap one full circle, and then I see some of that is sticking up, so I'm going to tuck that right down in there, and I'm going to wrap again. Okay, now I'm going to turn it to face me, and I'm actually left-handed, but I'm mostly ambidextrous, so I do it whichever way feels more comfortable, and you do the same. So now you just basically unroll and keep wrapping, and I want it to be uneven like that. I want it to be folded like it is, so it looks nice. It doesn't look perfect, because God knows witches are not perfect, right? Now I'm going to wrap, and I'm going to say I'm going to wrap nice and tight, but don't forget to wrap a little bit loose, because there's some nubs here and you can see them. I don't know if you can see right there. If you wrap too tight, these nubs are going to stick out, so we don't want that to happen. So let's continue wrapping. And this is so forgiving. You don't have to be super crafter in order to do this. You can be just like me and just having fun, just doing it the way that you want. Sometimes I flip it around like this, making sure everything's nice and neat, and there's a little piece of that mesh coming out, but that's okay, because I am going to clip it off when it's done. So no worries. And then see how it's looking in the back? Looking pretty good. Nice and flush. And you see that pipe cleaner is completely wrapped in there, which is nice, because now it will not come apart and it will not scratch anything and it poke through. And so I keep wrapping, diligently wrapping. It's so pretty. I love it. It's a little sparkly too, and I'm all about the sparkle. Everyone that knows me knows that I'm all about sparkle. Anyway, I hope you don't hear my fan in the background on. It's about 100 and a million outside. I live in Las Vegas, and it's always scalding hot out, and I have to have the air conditioning on at all times. I don't know about you where you live, but I have it down at like 67, 65. Sometimes my husband doesn't know that I lower it until the next morning, but by then I've had a nice, peaceful, cool night's sleep, and it's all good. Anyway, looking forward to fall. So as you can see, oops, got a little bit caught, keep that behind my arm. I'm just gathering and wrapping. Once again, I like it to be nice and straight in the back, because I like it to be as pretty in the back as it is in the front. Take off a little piece of fuzz there. Keep wrapping. And I tell you, this is so easy to do, and anyone can do it. Anyone can do it, because like I said before, I am not Susie Crafter. Whoever Susie is, I apologize if I just insulted you, but your work's amazing. Oops, did I just drop another roll of mesh? I sure did. Oops. Okay, so I just want to be sure to tuck that under, just because I don't want any frayed ends. Keep wrapping. Coming down to the bottom, and you're pretty much going to use about a whole roll of this, so don't feel like, oh my gosh, I've used too much product. It's exactly the amount you want to use. You just want to tuck that down a little bit, and I'm going to hold that on the back. Okay, and now right about here is where I'm going to stop. Okay, and you can see it to the front, and you're like, well, there's a little bit of a gap, and that's fine. If you want to, let's see if we can scoot it down one more row. If we want to go down one more row, we can, but you don't have to be too concerned, because it's going to be covered with lots of nice mesh and bows and lots of fun stuff. So let's see, I just don't want to compromise how that looks there. Okay, pulling it nice and taut right here, because I've already wrapped it once, so I don't have to worry about the nubs. Then I'm just going to grab my scissors. And I'm going to want to tie it off right here with another pipe cleaner. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of slack when I cut it. I don't want to cut it off right here. I want to cut off enough so that I can wrap it and tuck it. Okay, so now making sure everything looks nice and flat. I'm checking the front before oh, that's some of the other stuff coming through. No problem. There's a little stray piece of mesh coming through, nice and clean. So everything looks nice and flat and fresh here. Everything looks nice and pretty on the back as well. So I'm just going to hold that with my finger, grab one of my pipe cleaners, put that back in half. I'm just going to sort of run it around the pipe cleaner a tiny bit, just one side of it. Now I'm just going to put it right here. Make sure both sides are even. Pulling it through just a tiny bit. And now wrapping and twisting. And then I just tuck it right underneath this mesh. Right under here. And so now it just lays there nice and flat. And then if there's anything poking through, any fibers from the mesh, I like to just trim them off. As I said before, I like the back to be just as neat as the front. And then afterwards, I'll show you this great glue, this spray glue, if you don't already know about. It's fantastic. You spray it on and it stops everything from fraying. So it's a lifesaver. Okay. Let me just clean this up a bit. Okay, and there we go. We have our witch's hat. All perfect and covered front and back. And you can see the back looks just as nice as the front. Okay, so next we're going to set this to the side and we're going to cut our mesh and our ribbons. So we'll be right back. Okay, so I cleaned up my little table here and I got our witch's hat put aside, and now we have our 3 rows of mesh, and we're going to get ready to cut those and make beautiful little curls. We're going to roll them into curls, and then we're going to add our ribbon. And first things first, we're going to do our mesh. And I like to, let's move a couple things out of my way. I like to sort of roll them all out on top of each other because it's a little bit quicker. And what's great about the witch's hat is that you don't need a ton of bundles, probably about 12. So I'm going to cut this 6 inches, 12 times. Let's see, just lay that on top. Nice and flat. Really wish they had that bright lime green, but shucks, I didn't see any. But that's okay, we'll still embellish and it'll be pretty. When you get something in your head and you just want to do it, but this is gonna be fine. Okay, so now we lay this down, and once again, some of the edges are frayed and jagged, so I just like to, once again, take my rotary cutter and make a nice, fresh, clean line. And toss that. So it's nice we start nice, fresh, clean line. Okay, so as I said, we probably just need about 12 bundles, and I'm going to cut 12 pieces, and I'm going to measure them. I first said, I think I said 6, but I'm going to do 10 because we want them to be nice and full. So just toss that aside. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut these and fast forward a little bit so we can get started and get to our ribbons, because that's so much fun. Okay, see you back in a second. Okay, now let's get to the ribbon. The ribbon's pretty fun for me because I love to pick sparkly things and color coordinate, and sometimes people have a hard time picking, but what I've learned is to mix and match, and like polka dots and witches, brooms, and hats go great, and then we'll throw in a little orange solid because I want to pick up the black and orange of her legs and the orange that's in the little sign. So some people do every other. I think for this one it's going to be simple, but I think I want to have color in every bundle. So let's go first. Now the bundles, the mesh were cut into 10 inches, so I'm going to do the same. Shucks, I thought I already cleaned that off. Okay, so now we have our ribbon open and we're ready to go. We're going to make some ribbon to match our bundles, and I'm going to put ribbon in every single bundle. I want it to be super pretty, and we're going to cut it about 10, so it's about the same size as the mesh that we cut. So I use my scissors because sometimes with the wire the rotary cutter doesn't work so great for me, but I am challenged, so one never knows. Okay, so we're going to do this, and when I have all 12 done, we'll be back. What if I have a headband? What do you think? Crazy, right? Oh Lord, okay. Okay, so now our 4 kinds of ribbon have all been cut, 12 pieces of each. Sorry if these are blowing. I had to put the fan on. I had a hot flash, and it's not a good thing. You don't want to see something like that while making a craft. Anyway, so for the longest time I thought that they were called Dove or Doug or I didn't know what, and then finally I realized that they were duck tails with a K. Okay, so to make your duck tails pretty easy, you just take your ribbon upside down and then you just put it in half, and then basically you can make it any angle you want. A little angle, a lot, it all depends how deep you want your ducktail to look. So I just go sort of middle of the road, boom, on an angle, and there you go. So that's how they look. And then you do the other side. And so you have it. Another way that people do it is they're super smart and they just put it in half. It's a quicker way to do it. And then they fold it in half again. But for some reason I have trouble. I don't know why. And then they just cut it in half like this, boom, cut it across, and then boom, it's all done. And then you actually have the middle, which is super smart because we're gonna need to grab it in the middle anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut all the ribbon into their duck tails, and then we're gonna get ready to make our bundles. Water. dehydration is real. God's precious water. Okay, so most of our ribbons are all cut now. I just wanted to show you that the orange I cut a little bit differently, just on a slant. And I just wanted it to be maybe just a little bit different. But I mean, there's no right or wrong in making wreaths and crafting, so you can do whatever you feel comfortable if you want them all to be exactly the same. I just felt it would be kind of fun just to have something a little bit different. And so slide it underneath my bow. Easy bow maker, which is also serving as my paperweight to keep my ribbons from flying everywhere. Okay, I'll put that back. Let's put that back, keeping everything neat. Okay, so now we are going to make our bundles, and let me show you how we do it. So we're using the curl, which is really easy. Oh, see, one of those is out, so I just take my scissors. And I'm a little OCD when it comes to any type of fraying but I gotta tell you, I found that spray that's amazing, and I'll share that with you at the end, that just keeps everything from fraying. Okay, so you're going to take your first piece of deco mesh, and you're going to fold it in the way, or roll it rather, in the way that it normally rolls. So I just tuck in the ends and roll it like a little sausage roll. And then I like to hold it between my two fingers, because then it just gives me room to touch others. So take this apart. And some people roll their rolls with a certain color scheme, going the same exact way, black, orange, purple, black, orange, purple. I don't do that. I just sort of roll it and wing it. See? And then we just stack it right up there. Then you go to add your ribbon. Now I'm just basically eyeing it for the center. I do a rough look in half, but I don't go crazy. I just kind of go by eye. The only thing I don't eye are the measurements of my ribbon and my mesh, although some great professionals just eye it. I prefer not to, because not only will it be all weird, but I would end up using way too much of my products. And I like to be accurate, so I know exactly how many rolls I need for things. Which reminds me, I will post at the end of this video down below. You'll be able to see exactly what products I used and how much. I didn't use an entire roll of anything. I've got some mesh left over. I've got ribbons left over. For this project, you're not going to use a whole anything, which is nice, because you can use it for other projects after. Okay, so after we get that last one on there, I grab one of my half pipe cleaners, fold it in half, put it right underneath my fingers, gently pull this forward like that. See, pipe cleaners, give it a twist. And then, as I said, you can fix ribbon afterwards, or while you're doing it, or during it, whatever. I'm a little bit obsessive about my ribbon. I like it to look nice, but I think I have an over curling issue. Anyway, that's how that looks. And then I'll show you at the camera here. That's sticking up, but we'll fix that once we get it on. And it's pretty cute. Pretty cute. And I'll fan this out more so that we can see all the witches' legs and hats and broomsticks. It's just super cute ribbon. I did get that ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I got the polka dot from Craft Outlet. Anyway, that's great. Once again, in case you didn't catch it originally, because of my hands being out of camera, this is just going to take me a second. I'm just not used to being on camera, so be more diligent. Roll my little sausages, my little curls. I had to turn my fan off so that these wouldn't blow off the table. Whew. Hope I don't start sweating. Nobody wants to see that. Okay, place that up in there. Just your sausages, and I squish them down so I've got a nice good grip on them. Grab my ribbon. If you can, please comment below. Let me know where you're from, and is it a million degrees out, and are you dying and ready for fall? Or are you one of the lucky ones in a beautiful state where it's actually starting to cool off and you're actually grabbing, dare I say, a light sweater for nights? Almost September. I miss those days. I'm originally from the East Coast in New York, going back to school in the beginning of fall. It was always so nice. Little sweater at night. It was great. But now I live in Las Vegas where it's eternally warm and hot. But don't forget it's a dry heat. Okay, and then we're gonna lay our orange on there like that. Once again, half a pipe cleaner folded in half, sandwiched under, grasping all my mesh and bows, ribbon, and twisting. And there you have it. Such cute stuff. I really do enjoy doing this. Thank you so much for sharing with me in this and coming along on this journey with me. I hope you'll stick with it. It's just, I've enjoyed making things for so long and never really thought that I could do it. But as you can see, shucks, anyone can do it. Isn't that super cute? Okay, so now I have 3 or 4 more to finish. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll get ready to decorate the witch's hat. Okay, so we're back. Table's nice and clean. We have our witch's hat ready to be decorated. I've got everything that I think I'm going to be using. I say I think because I'm not sure if I'm going to go with the bats. I don't want to overdo it because our ribbon is kind of busy. So if you look at your witch's hat, you will see that it is like this, and it has little separators, but I count the separators like this. I count it into 1, 2, and 3, and I put 4, 4, and 4, and that's why we have the 12. And so far, I haven't had any problems. It fills up really nice and looks really full and pretty, but yet not overdone. Okay, so we take our first one, and I like to just go straight in the middle, and so we're going to flip over our witch for a second, and I want to see if you get a good camera angle. Okay. You take your pipe cleaners. Let me see if I can get this right for you to see. Okay, pipe cleaners, and we're just going to push them through there, through the wire, and one's going under the bottom, so I don't want that. Okay. And then we just push it through. I like to hold the bundle in the middle and then just twist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to over twist because I like to curl them up a tiny bit and put it so that once again, when whoever is hanging on the wall at your house or someone else's house, it's nice and flush and no one's wall is gonna get scratched. Now I'm excited to see how it's gonna look when it's on here. So I fan out the ribbon and I think it's super cute. Okay, and so that's how one looks already. And we'll go to take our next one. Once again, there's no which way do I put it on. I just sort of, I see the ribbons going this way and that way, so now I'm gonna stick this one on. Once again, pipe cleaners over the center bar. Twisting. Twisting there nice and tight, and then I put it up because I don't want it to, as I said before, scratch anything. And now I just adjust it, make sure everything is good, that we see our curls popping through. I don't want to forget those. See some cute colors under there. So I'm gonna move this over, we can see our beautiful curls on there nice. We're gonna grab our next bundle and put it on. So I've got my pipe cleaner legs ready to go right onto the bar. So right there. Pull it through. And twist. Now I see that one of my other pipe cleaners is trying to get in the way, which lets me know that it's a little too long, so I'm going to clip them. I'm gonna clip them close to the bar so they won't be long enough to scratch anything. Oh, that's my other dog coughing. Oh God, I hope that's an edit because that's never good. And now I notice that one of the pipe cleaners is too long, so I'm clipping it. I also clip some of these. You know how I don't like bits hanging out. Okay, so now put that in and fan out my ribbon. Okay, so there you go. That is 3 bundles. That is 3 bundles on our witch's hat. And you can see it's pretty full. So I may not do a 4th one in that one area that's this wide. I might just bring the next one into this middle area. So we'll see. We'll wing it. We'll place it and see how it goes. If we need to move it and adjust it, we can. As long as the bar is covered when you look through it, when you look at it straight on and everything looks covered and full, and just put it where it looks good. Once again, putting the 2 pipe cleaners, starting in the middle section now. Twist them and then I clip them. Once again, if there's anything sticking up, I push it down because I want to be sure everything's nice and flush. And now let's take a look. Super cute, coming along nicely. And I like it that we don't have the 4 there. It would have been a little bit too much. So nice. Let's keep going. Okay, so I'm going to keep putting these on and putting them, I'm just gonna follow it through and keep it full all the way through. So I might have 3 in some area, 4. I guess it's just gonna be about whatever looks good, and that's the bottom line. So let's go ahead and get these on and then we'll move to the next part. Okay, so we're gonna put our very last bundle on, and 12 was the perfect amount. And I just basically just placed them in the line and fluffed them out and covered any areas that might've been open, and it was perfect, just enough material, just enough fluff. And I'm actually putting in the very last bundle now, and there's a teeny tiny space for it. So once again, I'm just taking it and I'm putting it through the center crossbar. Reaching down with my fingers. Lots of stuff down here, but there it is. Grabbing through the pipe cleaners like that and twisting them. A couple of times and a couple times more. And like again, let's clip it. Not too close. If you clip it too close to the bar, then your pipe cleaner will open up and your stuff will fall off. Okay, so now I squish that. How beautiful. All right, let's fluff it out now. Now we can really go crazy with fluffing the bows. Make sure you can see your curls. Make sure you can see all the different kinds of ribbon. I did a good squishing job when I just turned it over, huh? And you can pull out pieces of whatever you want. And let's see, let's get another curl through here. Here's another curl. Okay, very cute. Okay, so now you can see how that looks. Let's take a look in this camera. that's how it looks on the bottom. So as you can see, the 12 was perfect, and this is how it looks behind. Super nice and neat. And you can see everything is nice and flat, nothing to scratch anything. That's great. So just fixing a ribbon right here, making sure. And I want to look at every angle just to make sure everything looks super pretty, and it does. Okay, now to the next step. Ribbon with my trusty dusty pipe cleaner. So I'm going to go ahead and put that through. Cross that a couple times. Okay, now I want it to hang in the center so it looks something like that. That's super cute, don't you? So I'm going to flip my pipe cleaner around, trying not to squish them. And here's two, here's two. So this is pretty much the middle right here. Right here's the middle piece. So I am going to turn our witch upside down, and I'm just going to come up through here with the two pipe cleaners, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it around and hang it because I want to see how it hangs and if it's the perfect height. And honestly, I pretty much think that is awesome. So I'm going to lay it back down gently, but I'm not going to lay it down. I don't want to squish too many of my bows, although I don't think bow fluffing is ever out of style. I think it's something you constantly do. So let's see. Let's make sure it is secure. And I am not going to cut this one because it's a little bit heavier, that's bottom heavy. So I think what I'm going to do is just push it behind this one on top and make a little hook so that it's on there nice and tight. And so that's how it'll hang nice and secure. And so now, this is how she looks. Super cute, right? Turn around and take a look and make sure it's straight. Perfect, let's show the camera. This is how our Witchy Poo looks. Okay, now, I don't think there is room for the bats. I don't think so, so we're gonna put those aside. But I do wanna bring some pops of color into the hat part. So this part, I want to be covered with some fun things. So I am going to turn this upside down. And let's open our pom-poms. I want you guys to be able to see those. I also got these at the dollar store. So it's great. It says, oh, you know what? I am wrong. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They were $2.99, but I used my 40% off, so that was a good deal. Sometimes I prepare the night before and get everything ready and cut all the packages off, and I forget where I buy things. So luckily this was on, because I don't want to give you wrong information. Oh my gosh, look how cute these are. Look, I'll put them in my hand. Look how cute. These are just little, cute little colorful balls. I think I just dropped one on the floor, and I don't want my dog that was already choking earlier to choke on it. So, okay, now, I don't know exactly how I want to do it. Do I want to just put a little green one up here? This is the biggest one. I might want to do that. So I'm just going to lay that there. And then I'm just going to sort of, the black ones you really can't see. So I'm just, oops, that just fell. Okay, so we know we want that one to go there. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of glue onto it and stick it right there on the top. So we'll worry about that right now. Okay, so we pretty much have green, purple, orange. Put a purple there and a purple here. I just sort of want to see how it looks before I glue them down, just to make sure the placement is good. I don't want anything to look funky or odd. Let's see, I don't like that there. Let's put, and then maybe another purple one there, tiny orange one here. take a look and see how that looks in the mirror. Over here, I think we need a little green. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And what about the black? Should I just throw the black in here anyway? There's a bigger purple one. Put that there. Yeah, and I think that's gonna be perfect. So now I'm gonna glue all those on without dropping them on the floor and killing one of my dogs. That's never a good idea. Okay, so now let's just glue these on, and then I think we're pretty much done. So let's work our way from the top. Won't need much glue. Super cute. Oops. Okay, so now I have all the little pom-poms glued on, and as you can see, it's super cute. I will try to get a different angle to see if you can see it up here as well. I will post a picture though, so you can see how it looks in its entirety when it's hanging up. But I think it turned out super cute. Okay, before we go, I just want to be sure to share with you the E6000. This is the spray that I was talking about earlier. You spray it on your craft products, just a couple of coats when you're done. You flip it over when it's dry, you spray it on the back, and it seals everything in, so your mesh won't fray, your ribbons will be fine, your glue is sealed. It's great. I'm just going to spray some on right now. As you can see, I spray it right over everything, the pom-poms, the ribbon, everything's great. And as I said, when it's dry, I'm going to go over and do the back. Well, I guess this brings us to the end of my very first upload YouTube video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had as good a time as I had. I look forward to sharing with you many more times on my craft journey, and I look forward to sharing in your craft journey as well. So please subscribe to the button below and hit the bell next to it so that you can be notified when another video uploads. And please share a comment below in the comments so that I can know a little bit more about you, and I'd love to hear about your crafting journey as well. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate the time that you share with me, and I look forward to seeing you again on Oh For Craft's Sakes. Bye. What if I have a headband? What do you think? Crazy, right? Oh Lord, okay. Water. Dehydration is real. God's precious water.
Get a little bit ready, and I have a little bit of that, just and then go.
Okay.
But your clap starts everything.
Okay.
Big. One clap.
But I thought you want to really hear it. I think this doesn't sound loud.
No, because now you're doing this on that line.
I'll start
I just
over.
give you one line.
I'll start over. Sorry, babe. Okay, well that's pretty much for today. Okay, and that pretty sums up how you make your thoughts about today's video. And I'd also love to know more about your crafting journey, as well as Jim. Really? Oh my God. Really? Really?
Yes.
Okay, they also have it at other craft stores in your area, I'm sure, so call before you go, or what the hell? Of course, keep in mind that you can't have anything in direct. All right, let's do that again. Oh, for craft's sakes. Bye. And cut. All right, we're done.